Yo, it's good chat. I don't know why I'm saying it's good chat like somebody in this motherfucker. Let me go ahead. Let me see. Let's see. What the fuck is wrong with this goddamn? Oh shit. Let's see. But I'm over here taking hellas and shit. What the fuck is wrong with this goddamn? Okay. Honestly, okay. This is gonna be a short one. I literally just want to talk about this because honestly, it's one of my favorite franchises. Well, favorite horror franchise, to be honest with you. Now, recently, I'm gonna say 2.5 weeks ago, I did, just go see Scream 7. And not gonna lie, it wasn't the brightest film. I'm gonna give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I think the only thing that was carrying that film was probably, well, obviously Sydney and some Gale moments, even though she didn't get as much screen time. And like some of the chase scenes were decent. Other than that, I'm gonna just say the movie wasn't great. Now, let me just be real, because I got a couple things to say about this movie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be real. Now, the movie wasn't all that bad, because I am seeing a lot of bad reviews, and every time I do hop on social media, there's a lot of people who just hate the movie. Now, if I'm being completely honest, the characters in the movie, for instance, I'm gonna say like, I'm trying to think of some characters I can remember. I believe it was obviously Cindy's daughter's Tatum and her friend group. I think it was I forgot the girl with the dress, the fairy dress shit on. I forgot her name, but I know the other friend name was Chloe, and then she had a boyfriend named Ben, and then there was this other awkward guy named Lucas, which was Sydney's neighbor, Jessica's daughter, who happens to be one of the killers. But anyway, for some reason, the characters just felt so bland in this movie. Yes, obviously each Scream movie introduces a new friend group, and you don't majority of the time the whole friend group gets killed off. If not the whole, maybe half, or even injured, stabbed, whatever the case may be. But in this movie, pretty much the whole friend group was killed off except Cindy's daughter. But for some reason, I don't know. It just them having, obviously a lot of them had a good amount of screen time, but some of the ones who did deserve that some more development, or had some sort of interest that make you would want to get to know more about that character, they didn't do so well with that. And I feel like the girl who I forgot her name. I gotta find her name, bro. But the one who was in the play, and she got killed in the theater shit, and she got her stomach sliced open, her guts was hanging. Now she barely got any screen time. Apparently she's a great actor. She's in other projects as well. But yeah, for some reason, a lot of these characters were boring in this movie. I'm gonna just be real. I ain't gonna lie. When I went to go see it, honestly, when it comes to movies like this, especially Scream, and I was thinking about that the last one as well, which is 6, and the one before that, which is 5. Now, those two movies, including this one, my main objective obviously is to always figure out who's the killer. And then for some reason in these trailers now, you can kind of already tell who it is. But in this movie, I could say it did well with that. It really did a good job on not making it too obvious on who's the killers. Because I ain't gonna lie, the killer reveal has to be the worst part of the movie. Not gonna lie. I'm talking about these niggas took their mask off. I'm like, who the fuck is these niggas? Like, oh, who are y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it all the way to me. I thought Lucas was one of the killers. Real talk. Because he just gave that awkward vibe. But you know how someone gives a certain look in a movie, they, side eye a lot? Lucas was doing that a lot in this movie. And I thought Tatum's boyfriend was going to be a killer. But then at the same time, I didn't think, this franchise would keep going down that road of, the boyfriend always being the killer. You had Billy in the first one. You had, I'm trying to think. You had Richie in the fifth one. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't want, it's like I wanted the killers to be, connected to Sydney in some sort of way, or anybody in the story for some sort of way. But these motherfuckers just getting introduced in this movie, and y'all, hold on, let me really stop it. Okay, aside from the reveals, the motive of the movie was just horrible. I mean, like, not of the movie, but the motive of the killers and why they were doing it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of the movie, Jessica's motive was, she really was just doing this because she felt Sydney's book called Out of Darkness. If you guys remember that, it was a book that Sidney Prescott dropped in the fourth Scream. It was just, basically a book about her finally escaping, her traumatic past of, dealing with Ghostface numerous of times. And I guess since Jessica really related to that book, she, had an abusive husband. Obviously, the husband wasn't around during this movie. I'm assuming she killed him. She made me mention that in the movie. I'm assuming she killed the guy, because he was abusive to her or whatever. But I guess that after she read Sydney's book, she felt so encouraged to just go around killing motherfuckers. If that ain't the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Oh my God. Every Scream movie, I ain't gonna say valid, because killing people in general, even if it's fiction, is never okay. But at least you have a reason. I mean, not reasonable, but like a reason that makes sense for crazy ass people. These motherfuckers was just crazy for no goddamn reason. And aside from Jessica, I think it was the guy from the psych ward. I forgot the guy's name. I ain't gonna lie. But when he got revealed, I ain't gonna lie. Even though he had like his maybe little 3 minutes of screen time, because they were looking for the person who was impersonating Stu. Because I ain't gonna lie, when Stu first came back on the screen, it was like a little deepfake. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of in the mix of most, because you know how everything is so, AI generated nowadays. I thought it was Stu for a second. I can't even cap. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? So when that came on the screen, so many people jumped up in the theaters, because not just in this movie, Stu's comeback has been hyped up for the past 20-some years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, not 20-some years, but I'm going to say the past 5 years. Ever since, Scream 2 dropped. I mean, Scream 5 dropped. Obviously, he wasn't coming back in the fourth one, let's just be real. But, for some reason, I never understood that at all. How does someone survive getting stabbed not only numerous times, but they're religiously just bleeding out while their partners influence them to find Sydney during their so-called Ghostface pursuit, and have a fucking TV fall on your head? You get electrocuted to death. This is glass falling on your face and electricity flowing into your face. I'm talking about through your bloodstream. How the fuck are you surviving that? I mean, yes, I get it's a fiction. I mean, to be honest, if Chad could survive what he did in Scream 6, then Stu can survive that. Because I don't know how Chad been stabbed over 20,000 times. I don't even know how you living. That's ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love his character, but there's no way that man should be walking around. Still, there's just no way. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, like I said, there's just no way that man should still be walking around. There's just no way. Anyway, let me see. Something else I want to talk about. Let me see. Okay, now aside from the motive and the reveals being completely dog shit and what's killed the movie, I ain't gonna lie. The movie did had some great moments. I will say the opening scene. The opening scene was just spoiled to us in the entire trailer. There was no type of suspense or curiosity going into that movie. We already knew they were gonna both die in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And how they were gonna. Well, we didn't know how the boyfriend was gonna die. We know he was going to die, but we obviously knew about the the girl hanging from the chandelier. Her falling on Ghostface's knife or whatever. We knew she was gonna die. We knew how it was gonna happen. If I'm being honest, I thought that was like a hallucination or something. Because how the fuck do you die like that? How? But I mean, well, yeah, you could die from that, but still, I don't know. But again, it's a movie. Something else. Let me see. Now, okay, let's talk about Stu being brought back. Like I said, Stu being brought back has been hyped up, since the last film. So I remember Mindy talking to Kirby in the theater of the few final moments of Scream 6 about Stu coming back. Her saying, if he's really dead or whatnot. And another thing, aside from the motive and the reveal killing this film, is the fucking AI generated Stu. Why? What was the reasoning behind that? I only the reason I can think is to trick Sydney into thinking that she was unsuccessful with the first person to practically start this aside from Billy. You know what I'm saying? Because even if Stu was still alive, why the fuck would he be hiding damn near over 40 years? This is what killed this film for me. This AI bullshit. Why? What was the reason? And then not only that, what made it worse, the film was actually not bad until the third fucking act. And one of the main scenes that really killed it for me was not only Stu coming back, they brought back Billy's mother, Nancy Loomis. They brought back Roman Bridger, Sydney's brother. They brought back, Dewey. And all AI reveals, on multiple screens. I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was cool to, see them. But at the same time, y'all couldn't do nothing better with the script. And all I could do is laugh about how they spent over $500,000 for a rewrite. And this is what y'all come up with? Come on, y'all. We got to do better. We got to do better. There's just no way. There's just no way. And it blows me because apparently the original story was going to have, Sam as the killer. I don't agree with that idea, by the way. I don't know who thought that was good, but no. But if I'm being honest, I would have took that over what the fuck we got. Because I don't know what the hell they thought this third act was going. Aside from, that scene, I could say that, the bar scene when, Ghostface was attacking them. I think it was Mindy, Chad, Lucas, and Chloe, in the bar. I'm guessing the town was on lockdown or some shit. And, Ghostface attacking them, doing all that. That was pretty cool. I could say the kills were decent. But if I'm being honest, I don't remember half of them. I gotta really think. Not gonna lie. And then for one thing, another thing that the Scream franchise really fails in, why are they so afraid of killing off main characters? If I'm being real, a main character hasn't been killed off since the fifth one, and we're talking about Dewey. That was a major loss for the franchise. I mean, not saying the franchise went downhill after that, but we're talking emotional impact. Because I ain't gonna lie, when Dewey died, I cried. Not playing. But anyway, when he died, it was just a really shocking feeling because I didn't think they would take that much of a huge step, and that's why I favor Scream 5 so much because it shows that it's not afraid to take those huge leaps. And that to me, aside from it really the fourth one that took a huge bump in brutality in this franchise, but the fifth one, bro, when I first saw that, I ain't gonna lie. Aside past the fourth one, because yeah, the fourth one is up there. But fifth one was just brutal, bro. But the most brutal one, in my opinion, has to be the sixth one. I don't think nothing is topping. No Scream movie is topping the brutality in the sixth one. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, all in all, Scream 7 is just not a good movie. But it's not bad either. I will give it that. So like I said, I give it a slight 7 out of 10. It had its moments, but if we're rating overall as a movie, it's just not a good movie. I'm sorry. No, I can't sit here and lie about it. But yeah, pretty decent movie. Pretty not bad. Not bad at all. Now, something I do, want to talk about since I was talking about, the reveals being stupid. I want to talk about the motives. Now, we're going to do from we're going to do the oldest, obviously the first one, into the last one. Now, you had the first one, you had Billy and Stu doing the whole killing of Woodsboro. Billy's reasoning obviously was, his mother abandoning him. And I'm trying to figure out, your mother left because your father cheated. And so that gives you a valid reason to go kill multiple motherfuckers, including your girlfriend. And her mother happens to be the one your parents' marriage got ruined. So that means go kill the daughter and the mother? These motherfuckers was crazy. But I get why they were doing it. Not saying it was right, because it wasn't at all. But I get why. Stu was just a follower. Let's just be real. He had no valid reason to be doing that killing either. Even though he did majority of the killing in the first one. But Billy's he just has more of an impact in that movie. He's a lot more intimidating as well. Not saying Stu isn't, but still. And another motive was, I think it was Scream 2. It was Mickey and Billy's mother, Nancy Lewis. Now Mickey, before he became Ghostface, dude was a serial killer already. This just pretty much just amped his juice up. It's sad to say, but a lot of things you blow up for now, and when I say that, I mean you gotta just have some fucked up shit happen. What I mean by that is you can kill multiple motherfuckers and you just get glorified for it. You got famous serial killers. We got famous serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and Ed Gein, whatever the fuck his name is. We got movies and documentaries on there. We got fucking we got entertainers doing shit. We got fucking King Von or some shit, killing multiple motherfuckers, and people are just glorifying. I mean, I'm not gonna diss King Von. I ain't gonna lie, the nigga music is good. Let's just be real. But him shooting multiple motherfuckers like that, I mean, the environment he grew up in, it was bound to happen. And then the nigga enjoyed it too, which is kind of fucked up. But whatever. But yeah, Mickey had no valid reason to do that. He literally just wanted to be famous. That's literally just flat out crazy. Now, Mrs. Loomis, her reason was kind of valid, but your son was still fucked up. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Yes, Sydney killed your daughter, but yes, Sydney killed your son, but she had a good reason. You think I finna let your son kill me? I got her. So yeah, Sydney had a valid reason to kill Billy. I don't care what nobody says. So then we go to the third one, and we go to which is Sydney brothers Roman. Now Roman is the whole reason all of this even started. He is the reason the franchise is even a thing. Without him, without Marine, abandoning him as a child, none of this would ever happen. So if we be real, Marine is the reason behind all this. Her being a hoe is the reason behind all this. No bullshit. Marine's the main villain of the franchise, chat. We got to be real. And I mean, well, obviously, just the abandonment issues was his thing, and Cindy getting all the love from her. That's about it. That's why Scream. I mean, Scream 3 is not really a high movie for me either. He had four. Now it was, I think it was Charlie and Jill. Now Charlie, he basically just wanted to have a reboot for the first one because every Scream movie always goes back to the first one, and his whole thing was just have him and Jill be survivors, like how Sydney and Randy was in the first one. Now Jill's thing was just pure jealousy, pure hatred. She hated Sydney her whole life growing up. Now I ain't gonna lie, I would get sick and tired of having my famous cousin being brought up at every fucking family function about her almost losing her life. Now it's fucked up. Ain't nobody trying to hear that all the damn time. Now is it a valid reason to go out there and kill motherfuckers? Hell no. But if we, being real, that's her motive was, aside from Billy's, her motive is probably the best one. If we being real. Now, moving on from the fourth one, we go to the fifth one. We go to, I think, Richie and Amber in the fifth one. They literally just wanted to make a good movie. They literally did real life killings just so another stab movie can be made just as the first one. I mean, just as good as the first one. What is wrong with what is wrong with these people? Y'all obsessed with movies that much? Y'all can go kill real people? What is wrong? I know this ain't a race thing, but only white people, I tell you. Because what? Why? Yes, these movies are entertaining, but just imagine if these things took place IRL. You got to sit back and think like, bro, you fucked up in the head. What is wrong with you? Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, moving on from the fifth one. Then we got the sixth one. It was, I believe it was Quinn, it was Ethan, and it was Detective Bailey. Now their whole thing was just literally revenge for Richie. And finishing Richie's film or whatever. He was gonna make a real stab film. I mean, he obviously did it with Amber, but they didn't make a film for that whole sequence. So them doing that killings was practically for nothing. Not gonna lie. So yeah, there's literally nothing else behind their motive. I'm gonna just say their motives wasn't really that strong, and their reveals. I mean, their Quinn being alive, that surprised the fuck out of me. I can't even lie. Now Ethan, you can kind of tell. Like I said, that's why I kind of go back to the seventh one. You look at Lucas. When people give that certain side eye, like look at the camera a certain way, you lie, yeah. You gotta watch his ass. You know something fucked up with him. That's the kind of vibe I was getting from Ethan. And I did not expect Detective Bailey until he got into the theater. Cause when the theater locked, how the fuck he get in there? I'm pretty sure Kirby locked it so nobody would leave. How the fuck did he get up in there? After that had my mind spinning. But then at the same time, I ain't gonna lie, I thought Kirby was one of them at first. But then I was kind of back and forth with that, because why the fuck would Kirby doing it? Why the fuck would Kirby be doing the killing? We ain't seen her in 2 movies. And last time we saw her, she was damn near bleeding out on the ground. So I was like, what the fuck she killing for? I mean, if anything, she should be killing the motherfuckers who killed her, but the motherfuckers who killed her were already dead more than a decade by the time. But it just really, that whole sequence of the sixth one, it just really made you think. It was like, oh wait, he did the first. He the killer. He the killer. He the killer. Crazy. Then we go to the abomination of a film, Scream 7. Like I said, Jessica's whole thing was just obsession with Sydney, her abusive boyfriend, yada yada yada. Then we had the psych ward dude. I don't even remember the reason that he was doing it. Not gonna lie. That's how bad this movie was. I think I gotta rewatch. I only watched it once. And I'm trying my best to remember the reasoning why they were doing this stupid shit. Why? Y'all literally had no reason to be doing all this. Literally, it just seems complete bullshit. And then we had the Carl guy. I think he was a escapee from the psych ward. Now I ain't gonna lie, the little house scene where he was chasing Sydney and her daughter. That scene was hard. I can't lie. That was good. But we got no commentary from him, and it was too obvious that he was one of them. And then him being killed off and getting hit by a fucking car by Gail, that shocked the fuck out of me. I don't know what was happening, but it was just so much going on in his sequence. But it was solid to watch. It was solid. I'll give it that. But yeah, Killers and Motives in Scream 7 has to be the worst one. I don't care what nobody says. That is the worst reveal, worst motive I have ever seen in a horror movie ever. Fuck Scream franchise ever. That shit was bad, bro. That shit was horrible. Overly. I'm sorry. Now we already been past the motives, yada yada yada. Now I'm gonna do the movies in total. Okay. Obviously, we're gonna do, I think, worst. No, we're gonna do worst to best. Okay. Now, if we talk about the worst Scream, now give me a break. It's a dodge thing between 3 and 7. I have no issues with 3. I really do think it's a good Scream movie, but it's good enough for a Scream movie. Now, for me, it just did not feel that intensity and that suspension that the first 2 films had. And it had some scenes where it was just a laughable film. You just couldn't take it serious. Yes, the chase scenes and the kill scenes were, pretty decent or whatever, but I don't know. It just did not feel as serious as the first 2 films. Like, you go back and look at those classics. They were some good movies. I mean, including the third one, but still, it just did not bring what those first 2 films brought. I don't know. It felt too silly of a Scream film to me. I don't know. And I think a scene in that movie that probably pissed me off was probably the opening scene. Now, Cotton being killed off, I can't say it was necessary or unnecessary because I did not care for his character that much. I mean, yeah, it would have been cooler to dive deeper in it, especially since Sydney accused him for, killing her mother or whatever. And then, in the second one, the whole movie, he was literally just trying to prove his innocence. That's all he was doing. But yeah, in the third one, it literally just started with him being on the phone with the killer and everything. They really just gave no time for his character. His whole thing was just proving his innocence, which is a good thing. But I did not care for his character. They really didn't give much to go off for him. So him being killed off, it was just like, okay, whatever. Maybe people thought different at the time the movie released, but I was just like, okay, fuck it, shit. Golly. Like I said, it did have some decent chase scenes. It has some, okay scenes and a good review. Because I ain't gonna lie, when I first ever saw, this is years ago, I first ever saw the film, I was shocked that Roman was the killer. I was really shocked. I thought he was dead. But at the same time, as you see everybody getting killed off, and I think it was, what was the guy's house? John Milton, the horror producer in that movie. Well, the horror, yeah, not the actual producer of the movie, but for the stab movies inside of Scream. I'm sorry, this is not a lot to go off of this film. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah. All right. Yeah, hold on. Be right back. Be right back, chat. Hold on.